good shot. Oh my!
Here to celebrate Georgetown! The Georgetown Raiders are Buckland Cup champions!
The Trenton Golden Hawks, the R. Hewitt Cup champions, are going to Coburg.
Back to Minerva. Shot scores! And the Coburg Cougars are the Royal Bank Cup champions!
Hockey fans around 16 Mile Creek have waited 9 years to hear it. Your Oakville Blades, OJHL Buckland Cup champions.
Well, the Buzzers and Cougars went down to the wire last weekend on the CHCH Game of the Week with OT needed to decide the winner. This is the OJ Today. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Alex Bastiavansky. We took a trip down the 401 to Coburg on Saturday for the latest game on the CHCH schedule, which featured two squads fine-tuning their rosters for what they hope will be a long playoff run. Now, the Cougars and Buzzers both sit third in their respective divisions, and they let it all hang out in a game that had pretty much everything you could ask for on a national broadcast. Game highlights now brought to you by BioSteel. BioSteel, the official isotonic beverage of the OJHL.
It was a big game, but even cooler was what happened beforehand. Nick Scar, Coburg Cougars superfan, was introduced before the contest as the newest member of the squad. He was signed at the trade deadline, and the 19-year-old was the celebrity that everyone wanted to meet. Inspiring stuff. He had a lot to cheer for, too. A $1.13 in TJ Kofis. The little tip makes it 1-zip Cougars. St. Mike's reeled off two straight in response. Ben Lorick taking the feed from Nick Palucci. Tickles the twine, and it's 1-1. And then the Buzzers will steal here. Tyler Busilo rips it past Ethan Robertson as the Double Blue take their first lead of the game. But Coburg came back big time. Another tip out front. Jacob Gilbert getting the tally this time to knot it up at 2 apiece. And watch this one. Jacob Campbell fires it right on goal off the draw. Noah Bowman pounces and gives the Cats back the lead. They weren't done. Behind the back pass from Campbell out front to George Cotiris. Very nice. 4-2 Cougars. St. Mike's would get one back in the second, and then just 24 seconds left in the third. Finn Brown getting the equalizer. And watch here as it goes in off the stick of defenseman Nicholas Aromaterio. But in overtime, Noah Bowman hits Noah Vandervin, and the former Lindsay Muskie's captain plays hero as the Cats win a seesaw affair in front of a national TV audience. 5-4 the final. Things that make you go, Georgetown, fighting just to make the playoffs, yet had beaten nationally ranked Burlington twice already. Heading into this game, Brendan Kennedy, Johnny on the spot, gives G-Town the lead. The Cats respond. Jacob Kelly playing the bank shot off the boards to perfection. And it was 1-1 after 20. Second stanza, Ryan Brown steals the rubber off to the races and snipes it top corner behind Max Wright. That puts the Raiders up 2-1. Third period, they nearly made it 3, but Wright comes up with one of the stops of the week right there. Getting down to stone the Raiders. Burlington does not want to face G-Town in the playoffs. They've lost 3 of 5 to them this season. This one was crazy. Patriots and Mississauga. Pats were cruising up 3-1 in the second when Connor Cole smashes it past Jack Irvine to make it 4-1. And then just a $1.30 later, Dirk Stadig wrists it home to make it a 4-goal Patriots bulge. But then, cue the comeback. Nicholas Cordero pushes it past Mario Pescia, and it's 5-2. A $1.12 later, Nicholas Beaupre pays the price, but the juice was worth the squeeze, as they say, as he cuts it to a 2-goal deficit for Saga. Late in the period, Pescia giving up the juicy rebound. Anthony Messina dining out on it. And 5-4 Patriots after 40. You can see where this is going, right? Third frame, Devlin Shanahan getting tippy out front. The Chargers storm back and send it to overtime.
As Perical came all the way down from the blue line. And up for Luca Tellis. Tellis scores! The Chargers come all the way back from 5-1 down to take it 6-5. Mississauga is 1 point back of North York with 2 games left to play this weekend.
What a comeback, and they would actually draw even with the Rangers over the weekend. Oakville, south of the border, taking on Buffalo. 3:54 into the first. Alec Cicero to Nate Burke. 1-zip Junior Sabres, very nice. Second frame, the Blades would equalize. Jack Lyons, the screamer from the point, and they were even Steven at 1 apiece. But then it was Burke going back to work. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. His first effort stopped by Adam Harris. The second shot finds the opening. And the Sabres led 2-1 after 2 periods of play. Third frame, gorgeous play here. Matteo Costantini in on Harris, and this boy's got the moves like Jagger. Bends him into a pretzel. 3-1 for the Americans. They would add a late empty netter to seal the deal. Boy, keep an eye on those Sabres. They've got a lot of weapons on that team, and they've looked great after what was a slow start to their season. They take this one 4-1. And just a reminder, the game of the week up next is February 8th when Markham is in Trenton. The rink is going to be jammed for that one. Notice on February 12th, the Wellington game rescheduled due to the snowstorm. And then Milton and Brampton, and it finishes up with Stouffville and Collingwood on February 22nd. This portion of the OJ Today is brought to you by Q-Collar, official safety partner of the Ontario Junior Hockey League.
Hey, welcome back to the OJ Today. You know, last season, the North York Rangers were just an absolute powerhouse. They captured the South Division title with an older group of high-end players leading the way. But one guy that still managed to stand out among the grizzled veterans was youngster Cole O'Hara. And just 16 at the time, his play turned heads, and it was enough to land him a scholarship at the University of Massachusetts. Now, O'Hara is picked up right where he left off last season. He's leading the team in scoring and was just named to NHL Central Scouting's midterm rankings for this year's draft. Here's more on what makes Cole's game so special.
O'Hara drops off, slap shot, scores! What hand-eye coordination by Cole O'Hara, the 16-year-old rookie.
The North York Rangers had a tremendous 2018-19 campaign, which saw them advance all the way to the Southeast Conference Final. It was a talented, veteran-laden squad. Into this mature lineup of players skated a 16-year-old youngster who immediately turned heads. Cole O'Hara finished his rookie season 7th in scoring on the Rangers, which is especially impressive when you note that the 6 who finished ahead of him were all a minimum of 3 years his senior.
Yeah, Cole was, came into the league last year and really took a lot of people by storm. His ability to make plays and see the ice are, very elite and high end. For Cole, offense has always kind of come natural to him. He's been playing along with Tyler Flack right now, and they played together quite a bit last year. So, they're putting some points up, and we're hoping they can continue that for us.
Really special player, talented offensively. He's got probably the nicest set of hands in the league. He just, as I said, he's got that right place, right time because his hockey IQ is unbelievable. And he's got an underrated shot for his size. He beats goalies quickly because he's got that quick release, and it just catches them by surprise because it's pretty hard.
I think I bring a lot of speed and most importantly hockey IQ to the team. I like to make passes. I like to look for seams throughout the ice. I like to slow the play down and use patience as one of my attributes, and that helps me just find players. And I just I'm sort of a pass first type of guy, so that helps me find guys throughout the ice, especially playing with Flacker. That helps a lot too. So playing with one of the older guys in the league, I think that helps with my offensive abilities on the ice too.
Yes, obviously Cole knows how to score, but an extra year has done wonders for his development. Now 17, he's working on becoming a much more complete player, something Rangers head coach Jeff Smoggy feels he's well on his way towards accomplishing.
He's really trying to round out his game to be a 200-foot player. He's definitely not a liability out there in the defensive zone. He's a guy that I'm using on penalty kill this year. He takes pride in those, playing 200 feet, and I think that's only going to help his game moving forward.
Yeah, I think this year I'm trying to focus more on defensive side and playing a full 200-foot game. That's something I really need to work on, especially making it to the next level.
The player O'Hara patterns his game after plies his trade just a few kilometers away at Scotiabank Arena.
Yeah, I definitely look up to someone like Marner. I think I have a lot of the same attributes as him. He plays the PK, he plays defensively really well. He brings a lot of speed and smarts, so that's something I try to contribute into my gameplay, and that's something that I think he does really well.
O'Hara had options after his minor midget year. Major Junior was one. He was a draft pick of the Hamilton Bulldogs, but his goal was always to head south of the border, and that's exactly what he's going to do, as in 2021, he'll make his debut with UMass Amherst of the NCAA.
Yeah, I think it was pretty set and clear. I didn't really want to go to the Ontario Hockey League. I saw OJHL as an opportunity to go to NCAA, and that's exactly what I took. With University of Massachusetts, that was just a clear option for me, and that was an unbelievable program. I decided that was the best option. Yeah, when I went down for my visit, it was pretty clear, just the facilities, the staff, the program they had there. It was top notch, and everything they had was just, I think the biggest thing was just the coaches they had. They really took me in. They made me feel like I was at home and everything. So that was just a pretty clear option as to that's the NCAA program I wanted to go to.
I think it's going to be a great fit for Cole. He's still physically getting stronger on and off the ice, and I think another year here, and potentially, he goes in next year as a true freshman. I think he'll do extremely well at the next level. It's his draft year. We're hoping that he's going to at least get some NHL looks. He's an extremely talented and extremely skilled player, and understands the game at a very high level.
O'Hara is excited to take his game to that next level, but remains firmly committed to the Rangers first and foremost.
Yeah, UMass I think will be a huge stepping stone, especially making it to the next level. The draft's this year, so that's something that I'm always looking at too. That's one of my bigger goals, and that's something that I think that will come with team success. With team success, individual success will come, so that's something I put first.
Rebound, Coulter scores! And Cole O'Hara snipes the back of the net, continuing a great campaign.
All right, speaking of young superstars in the OJ, Matthew Sopp, the dynamic 16-year-old for the Mississauga Chargers, has made his decision, and he's going OHL, baby. He has signed with his hometown team, the Kitchener Rangers. He will start play next fall for the team. Matthew's been incredible for the Chargers in his rookie season. Congrats. And the OJ Fan Favorite Award, let's take a look at who's leading the way. And we have a new leader this week, Kyle Ballers, followed by Jason Stashelback, Carter Talk, Ryan Teverberg, and Nathan Gooch from the Pickering Panthers. And the CJ rankings came out, and Brooks still on top. 4 OJ teams in the top 20 now. The Blades at number 11, the Trenton Golden Hawks 14, Wellington 15, and the Toronto Junior Canadians, not surprisingly, back in the top 20 now as they come in the 19th spot. This segment of the OJ Today is brought to you by Troy Hockey. Troy, the official apparel provider to the OJHL.
Welcome back to the OJ Today. There were some key contests that went down last weekend. Some shockers, some puzzling results, and some real statement games as well. And here to review what went down is Joe Montezano of Fedora Films. Joe, welcome back, buddy.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no worries. I struggled with where to start today, and you and I chatted before. There were so many huge games that happened this weekend. Let's begin with Mississauga, though, who are just trying desperately to qualify for the playoffs for the first time since 2014. I mean, it feels like forever. They're trying to chase down North York for 4th spot in the South, and they had a ridiculous comeback at home against the Patriots on Saturday, didn't they?
Well, they did. I mean, they're down 5-1. Going in late in the middle of the second period, Cordero, Beaupre, Messina, Shanahan, and then Towles wins the game in overtime. You're asking the right guy about comebacks, right?
Of course.
I saw that crazy Stovall Markham game. But the Mississauga Chargers are one of those teams, when you watch them play, you wonder why the record isn't better than it is.
Yep.
Beating teams like the JRC, like the Pats, and then going out to lose to Brampton. I mean, it's just one of those teams where you don't figure them out. And speaking to coaching staff, they're puzzled as well. But that division is absolutely insane. North York dropping. Brampton's only 7 points behind both of them. I think it's Mississauga's playoff position to lose, but it's going to be a dogfight for that final playoff spot.
And really quick, you have a funny feeling you think Brampton may actually sneak in and overtake one of those teams for the last spot. That's what you think?
I do. I think so. And if they do, they could have a crossover game. We'll see. It'd be crazy.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. We talked a lot about Pickering lately, and obviously for good reason. They've lost just one game in regulation since the start of December. They hosted the team that's chasing them for first place in the North, the Stouffville Spirit, and they smoked them 9-4 in that contest. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that's one game I guess Stouffville wants back, but Stouffville has been going down a little bit in the last couple of games, and the Panthers have just been exploding since December 20th when they lost to Brampton. Again, we mentioned Brampton.
Yeah.
They lost to Brampton. But here's the Panthers. They have Rodis, Andriachi, Bull, the Bulls, Bonello. What do these players have in common? They were not part of the Panthers last season. Pickering has emerged to go all in. They're all in. They're a wild card right now, and the wild card is Bonello. Bonello has emerged to be, you know what? I'm going to say it. He is now the best goalie in the league.
Oh, you're just inviting you're inviting it on yourself. You're inviting the way things have been going. But I will admit, the guy's been a rock star. He's been amazing. Who can figure out Georgetown? Desperately trying to lock down the last playoff spot in the division. They go out Friday night and they lose to Aurora, the team with the second worst record in the OJHL. They turn around Saturday and beat the nationally ranked Burlington Cougars for the third time this season. It should be pointed out as well. I mean, what's your take on the Raiders?
I witnessed that game, and they played so well, but the problem is they're a Jekyll and Hyde team. They're one of these teams that they can't score, and they're somewhat like Stouffville. When their goalie goes, the team goes. When their goalie's not playing well, it might be a bad night for you. They're not a team that can blow out teams. They've only scored 6 goals 3 times this season, and 18 of their 43 games have been 1-goal games. That's not a team that can score. However, I do think, and I'm gonna make one statement here, and again, my Twitter will blow up. They will win the crossover game in the North, whoever they play.
Okay, and yeah.
If they make the crossover game, but anyone in that division that plays the crossover will beat the North team.
Okay.
That's what.
Well, let's stick with the West. Are the Buffalo Junior Sabres, do you think they are being overlooked somewhat? I mean, they sit third in the division, yet they have more points than the top 2 teams in the North. They've beaten Burlington, they've taken down Wellington, and this weekend had a big win over the Oakville Blades. Is this a team that could do some serious damage in the playoffs, do you think?
So if you asked me that question at the beginning of the season, I would have laughed at you.
Because they started terrible. Oh, yeah.
So they let 10 goals in twice to Oakville and Burlington. Now they're just 11 points behind Burlington. They lost to Collingwood and then had a huge win over Oakville, like you mentioned. And anyone can beat anyone in this league. But if they go and play, which looks like they're going to play Burlington in the first round, they are going to take Burlington to 7 games in that series. I think Buffalo is that good, and I think they can give Burlington issues.
Well, they went 7 last year.
I think they win.
Yeah, and they went 7 last year as well, of course, in the first round of the playoffs in what was an epic series. And, finally, how good was the CHCH game of the week? St. Mike's and Cobourg. Alex Bloomfield and I weren't even sure how exciting the contest was going to be. 2 third-place squads that already have clinched playoff spots locked down. No real rivalry between them, but what a great game it was with Cobourg taking it in overtime.
What an unreal game. A great game to showcase the skill of the OJHL for a national audience to view. 6 goals in the first period. St. Mike's is down by 2. They score late in the second, very late in the third, and take the game in overtime. It's exactly what the OJHL needed on TV to showcase the great gameplay and drama that exists in the OJHL. These are two teams that I think can surprise us in the playoffs.
Coburg is a team, and we got just about 40 seconds here, but Coburg is a team that really, I mean, their record should be a lot better. The problem is they got to play Wellington and Trenton so many times. But I think that they're a team that's capable of definitely doing some damage in the playoffs as well.
I think that's why Wellington or Trenton are fighting so hard to win that division, because they don't want to play Coburg.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, it's, as we head down the stretch, man, it's going to be fascinating to watch. We're going into the last month of the regular season now. Down the stretch they come. We will have you on again, but we're out of time for today. But thank you so much, my friend. And, of course, we've got your Twitter up there as well if anyone wants to take on Joe and disagree with what he's saying. Thanks so much, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Okay, more OJ Today coming up in just a moment. This segment of the OJ Today is brought to you by Scotiabank. Scotiabank, the official bank of the OJHL. And welcome back to the OJ Today. One of the hottest teams in the OJHL over the past couple of months has been the Pickering Panthers. Now, since the start of December, the Cats have lost just a single game in regulation time. They've gone from an afterthought in the chase for the Buckland Cup to legitimate contenders to win the whole thing. Pickering has shot to the top of the North Division, but are still being closely pursued by the second-place Stouffville Spirit. The two teams squared off on Friday night.
And we were expecting a tightly fought contest between two squads battling for first. We got a blowout midway through the first. Kevin Stiles, ugly goal, but it counts. 1-0 Pickering. 2 minutes later, Braden Leaking showing off the dishpan soft hands. Beauty to make it 2-zip Cats. $1.30 after that. Watch the nice passing here as Pickering goes tic-tac-toe. Christos Rodas, the Grecian assassin, stretches the lead to 3 goals. They kept coming. Noah Bull to Connor Olson. One-time perfection, and he makes it 4-0. 3 minutes after that, it's Noah's brother Shane doing all the dirty work here. Rodas finishes it off. 5-zip at that point. The Panthers continue to be red hot. They smoke the Spirit, taking this one 9-4. An East Division tilt, Trenton hosting Coburg. The Jayhawks hit them hard and hit them fast. Big crowd at the dunk, 1,000 on hand. They take it in, and they liked what they saw. A minute 24 in, Griffin Fox smashing it past Dershan Stewart. 1-zip Hawks. 2 minutes later, Adam Kim maneuvering inside. He goes roof daddy to make it a 2-0 Trenton lead. Jared George charges in and manages to tickle the twine behind Stewart. They would actually be up 5-zip at one point, and they cruise to the 5-2 win over bitter rival Coburg. Cape Brampton has been surging while North York has been fading recently. First period, Sam Merritt takes the pass and snipes it over the shoulder of Eli Schiller to put the Admirals up 1-0. NYR responds. Adam Panacci with a nice snipe of his own right there to tie it up 1-1. All Brampton, though, from that point on. Keelan Froats, stick on the ice, hard to the net. You learned it from the moment you strapped on skates as a kid. Never goes out of style. A timeless combination. And it works there. Then sloppiness by the Rangers. Coughing it up. Anthony Pinelli feeds Merritt for his second of the day. They would add a late empty netter as well to seal the deal. Keep your eye on Brampton. They're still within striking distance for a playoff spot, and they are playing well. They win 4-1. The Junior Canadians were looking to pull further ahead of the Patriots in the battle for South supremacy. They were in Milton. CJ Clark with a shot that Garen Boyanowski might like to have back. 1-zip. They would add to it in the second. Matt O'Brien, captain my captain, outweights the keeper, puts his boys up by 2. And then it's former Menace forward Clark torturing his old team again. That's his second of the day. Puts the JRCs up by a 3 spot. Milton gets one back, though. McKay Hayes behind the back. Tricky. Gets Milton on the board finally. Toronto would make it 4-1, though. And then in the third, it's Matt DeCesare out front. The one-timer. And it goes 5-1 at that point. Ultimately, they would hold on for the 5-3 victory as they continue to pull away from the pack in the South Division. One more, the streaking felines, the Pickering Panthers, in Coburg on Monday to take on another set of Cats, the Cougars. Pick it up in the second, tied at 1. George Kotiris makes it 2-1 Coburg. Soon after, TJ Kufis just manages to squeeze it past Brendan Bonello, and it's the Cougars up by a deuce. Back come the Panthers, though. Shane Bull, boom, cuts the deficit to a single goal. Now watch as Stephen McDonald ends up in his own net and takes the puck with him. And the officials would confer, and yep, it's a goal. So all tied up into the third, where it's Patty DeMaio, and Patty is money. Wrists it past Ethan Robertson. That would prove to be the game winner as the Panthers continue to be the hottest team in the OJ. And let's check out those standings brought to you by Jostens, official ring and awards provider to the OJHL. In the West, Oakville leading Burlington by 6 points now, followed by Buffalo, Georgetown, Brantford, and the Milton Menace. In the North, Pickering leading Stouffville by 3 points now, and the way they're playing, I could see them adding a bit more cushion to that as well. In the South, JRC's 9-point bulge over the Pats. Look at that, that 4-5-6 battle. North York, Mississauga, Brampton's going to be fascinating. In the East, Trenton, a 7-point bulge over Wellington, but look at that game difference. Wellington does have 5 games in hand to try to make up the difference. Top 5, brought to you by Cliff Bar, the official energy bar of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. Number 5, Mississauga's Luca Tellis against the Patriots. The OT winner to cap the incredible comeback. Number 4, Brampton's Sam Merritt against North York. Going Roof Daddy. Over the shoulder of Eli Schiller. Number 3, Braden Leaking of Pickering. The Dishpan Soft Hands brought to you by Palmolive. Gorgeous strike against Stouffville. Number 2, Max Wright takes spot number 2 for the second week in a row, sprawling to deny Thomas Hernandez from in close. Almost a carbon copy of the stop he made last week against the Junior Canadians. Solid goalkeeping. Number 1, Buffalo's Matteo Costantini, turning Adam Harris inside out. Not sure if he's found his jock yet. Beautiful goal. And that is our Cliff Bar Play of the Week.
Yeah, and we are all out of time for today, but just a friendly reminder, you can always keep up to date with the league by heading to ojhl.ca, and of course, all of your social media options are there for you to explore as well. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.